You in this battle, man, I'll soon be dead. I'll glue your face to my dick so I can fuck with your head. I got metaphors coming through my pores. You probably never been in a battle before, so I hope you realize your mistake. There ain't no party, got some candles, this will be a piece of cake. Put your steak.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Who is this?
Ilya, now's not the time to talk about Asians. Now is the time to introduce, for the very first time since the first time, it's the Before Hours podcast, aka the Morning Cereal Hour. I am your co-host, Bobby Sheehan. The other co-host is going to introduce himself in 3,
No,
2,
that's
1.
We did not describe. We did not agree on a format beforehand.
We don't have a
We're
format,
introducing each other. Every
We're all
time.
vibes now.
Yeah, but they never did this on like any other good podcast.
Dude, we're not a good podcast. We're the Before Hours podcast, dude.
We got to rebrand. If you think there's a taint to the name Before Hours, I say we rebrand as something else.
The Morning Cereal Hour. What do you guys think? Write in the comments. I tell you to write in the comments and you never do, unless it's to tell me I look like Mark Zuckerberg, which is fine.
In which case, you will, no matter what, you will respond to them in the comments.
I will. Dude, I'm such a fucking cuck for attention. If someone's like, haha, you look like Mark Zuckerberg, even though I've heard that every day of my life for 10 years,
Yeah.
I'll be like, LOL, thanks, man. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. What has
Yeah.
become of me? I watched George Carlin and thought, this guy's a little full of himself. But then
I said the same thing about George Floyd. Isn't that crazy? It's the Georges, all the Georges.
all the Georges.
Did you celebrate it's George Floyd Day? It's not called that.
Yeah.
the
GF Day if you don't have much time.
him.
Now, have you listened to his rap music?
I did not know yet.
It's not that good. And I know it sounds like I'm doing a bit where I'm pretending that George Floyd was an indie rapper, but he actually was.
Was
Yeah.
he?
Mhm.
He also did like some like amateur porn and stuff, right?
Really?
Yeah.
I
He was
didn't
like a
know
real.
that.
He was a real entrepreneur.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he was using his own $20 bills? That guy couldn't get... the entrepreneurial spirit was just sorping out of his pores. Sorping?
It was sorbing.
Was it sorbing,
Sorbing
dude?
out of his pores.
Did you get the Wordle today?
No.
I'm trying to get away from this topic as soon as possible. I'm like an abused woman that wants to change the subject. Like, what does your husband do when he gets angry? I'm like, the weather. The weather is crazy, isn't it? Sometimes hail will be as big as softballs and it'll give us black eyes.
We agreed that this would be a exclusively George Floyd focused podcast.
Yeah.
From now on.
You know what I learned
Every
about
week.
George Floyd? Because I was doing it's interesting.
Did you know he was a rapper?
He was a rapper.
Okay.
I just told you that. How dare you?
No, we're gonna cut that part out.
Damn it. I forgot that as a man of the law, you're the one that's supposed to be like the facts guy, and I'm the looks of the podcast. I'm just the pretty face.
We're like a real A-team, but we're missing out some crucial elements. We've got like brains and like tech maybe,
yeah.
but we need a guy who's got leadership skills, and then another guy who's just handsome who can,
Mhm.
and then someone who could fly a plane.
Yeah.
Black guy preferably.
Ooh, see, guys. But yeah, George Floyd. A lot of people will say that he held a gun to a pregnant woman's abdomen.
Yeah, I keep seeing that.
It's not true. So this is a weird thing that the right sometimes does. The true story is that he robbed a woman at gunpoint and pointed the gun at her abdomen while her toddler was next to her, which is already bad enough. I don't know why that morphed into something that wasn't true.
Oh, okay. So like she was okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I think it was this sort of kind of thing where they were like, let's make this a pro-life thing too, right?
Yeah.
They just wanted to put all the things together.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
And the world's set on fire.
How do you think Derek Chauvin's doing right now? What is his life like?
I don't know. I imagine it's not ideal. I think being a cop in general in prison isn't ideal.
Well,
but
don't they put you in productive custody
Yeah, I
with the
think we should.
Chomos?
I believe probably.
Mm-hmm.
Although you'd think maybe out in the regular Gen Pop, maybe the White Aryan Brotherhood might take a kind.
Oh,
Kinda
yeah.
still.
But this is where horseshoe theory comes into play. Far right folks, they're also ACAB. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could be this weird thing of like,
yeah, that's true. It's like it's not like they're gonna be like we really support the blue in here.
Mhm.
Us Hell's Angels.
That's
and
how
whatnot.
diverse this country is you could be such a skinhead that you're like, I don't back the blue. Actually, it's a theory. It's one of those things where no one really knows where it comes from. That ACAB, the acronym for All Cops Are Bastards, actually comes from English skinheads.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's very funny to me that English people can be skinheads when they all sound gay.
Okay,
No,
that's true.
Mhm.
So they should go with ABAB. All Bobbies are bastards.
Oh my
Right?
God. Hey, is that a reference to the fact that they call cops in England Bobby, or at least they used to? Bobbies?
I mean, yes, it's literally a reference to that.
I thought you were doing more direct, like F you to your co-host. Or you should be nicer to me. I'm
No,
your
it's
co-host.
oh right, I forgot your name is Bobby. No,
You
they call
forgot my
cops-
name? That's not being nice.
No, it's
to
just
your
I guess
co-host.
you know it's interesting. You hear the word Bobby in your head, you're like, "That's me. I'm Bobby." But I was just referencing what they
That's how
call police in
names
England.
work, bitch. If I said Ilya, he who knows God, of course you're gonna think that's you.
But unless there was a different context where I knew the context of what you're talking about,
I'm so upset.
why
with
would I say you all Bobby Sheehans are bastards?
I'm
Like,
honestly so.
how
upset.
would that make sense as a joke?
I'm so upset right now because this would be the perfect moment to go, okay, man, now we're heating up and take my sweater off. But I forgot to wear my sweater.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I specifically brought one here to do that bit. We're gonna have to wait till the second part of this
Second
episode.
episode where you put a sweater on for 30 seconds to
Yeah.
take it off.
Hell yeah, dude. No, it's cool, man. I don't know. What made you think of the George Floyd anniversary?
It just people were talking about it. It's coming up.
People were talking about it?
Yeah, I don't know. People were like George Floyd. There's like all the right wing people like free Derek Chauvin. The other people it's like, oh, remember George Floyd and all that stuff.
Dude, wild. That's an overcorrection. That is such a symptom of the fact that we live in a two-party system, because some of the people that are like left-wing are annoying. So then right-wing people are like, we should literally take Derek Chauvin out of prison. Like, that's wild to me. You know what I mean?
Who did Trump just released like the other day? Like some like the guy who founded like a major gang, like Larry Hoover, some like he's like Black Disciples or something. Like he was like the founder of some. He was like been in prison since like the 70s, and Trump pardoned him or whatever.
I heard that he pardoned those like reality TV show stars that I've never heard of before.
Oh yeah, the Christian-y one, like one guy who
They are
looks-
Christian-y, aren't they?
And I think one guy seems super. He's got like that weird Southern effeminate thing where if they weren't hateful Baptist, you would think he's just like a fun
Right.
gay guy.
Yeah.
Like that energy.
And he probably is a gay guy, just not
He
fun.
probably is.
Yeah.
Like a Ted Haggard type.
The only reason that I even know about this Trump pardoning people story is that I stayed with my parents for a couple days, right?
Yeah.
And my parents are boomers, and what they like to do is watch the news constantly. And my parents hate Trump, as do I. But the thing about me is I don't really think about him that much. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I already didn't vote for him, so there's nothing for me to do. You know what I mean? But they seem to be like, they want to watch the news that's like really loud, and it's mostly commercials. And, you know, in between like the ducks being cleaned by, you know, dish soap or whatever,
Yeah.
and like lottery tickets, and like if you have mesothelioma, you might be like
Wait,
confiscated
hold
or
on.
whatever.
Let's go back a second. If you have what?
Listen, I'm riffing. Don't leave me alone. I can't.
Nope.
I can't try to say mesothelioma.
There we go.
Am I even close? Oh, I got it.
Mesothelioma. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, I can't say it super fast like you, college boy, but
You also went to college.
yeah, but I didn't do as well.
You don't know what I did.
You went to law school, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds like an anal cunt song.
You
went to law school?
I fucking hate you.
And the lyrics are,
The name of the song would be Ilya Laxon went to law school and he's a faggot.
and
That's
it's
how
you.
anal cunt names their songs.
Yeah.
Being gay is gay. Like that. That was their whole vibe.
I actually had a conversation with this guy, and I forget the context of it, but he referenced Anal Cunt being a right-wing extremist band, and I had to explain to him what 4chan was basically.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, no, they were literally. I know
I
that
know.
some people say that they're just trolling, but actually they're right-wing ideologues.
Yeah.
But this guy literally was just trolling.
Yeah.
And when he died by getting hit by a train.
No,
that's the
that's El
Mentors.
Duce from the Mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're talking about Seth Putnam, right? From
Seth Putnam.
Yeah.
Oh, he just heroin.
I think just heroin.
Yeah. And then my favorite tweet was "dying is gay," which he would have loved. Seth Putnam would have loved
He
that.
would have loved that.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
There's
Seth
that one
Putnam.
video. There's a picture of him literally with a needle in his arm
Yeah.
while he's getting his dick sucked by a BB dub, and it's the best picture of all time.
That was cool. That should be up there with like the Johnny Cash giving the finger.
Yeah.
Like, or like Joe Strummer, or it's Paul Simon and smashing the guitar and London
Mm-hmm.
Calling. Like it's a very niche. The fact that we both know El Duce,
Yeah.
is a very niche avenue of trivia. For people.
So I'm watching the world news with my parents, and they are just. It seems stressful, and I wanted to because I was trying to watch The Office instead.
Yeah.
Because my parents, they'll watch the Met game, right? But then they have to get angry about Trump for the rest of the night, which I think is not healthy, right? And I was like, we should watch The Office. It's a comedy show, and we'll laugh and we'll enjoy each other's company. But instead they'll be like,
Are all your family outings this stilted and awkward?
oh, it's just me and my parents.
Right, because you're an only child.
I'm an only child,
And
baby.
you only have the two parents. So.
I only have two parents.
just the
I
three
don't
of
have
you.
a polycule.
So you just have,
parent
and just three of you being
situation.
like, I want to watch The Office. They want to watch the news.
What else are you gonna do? You know, with parents, I don't know. I know you guys probably discuss like philosophy and like, oh, did Rene Descartes mean this when he said, "I think, therefore I am"? But I can't talk about that kind of stuff with my parents.
You can't. What are you talking about?
Just surface level stuff.
Okay, what's
You
like
know?
the most surface level thing?
Ooh, I don't know. Like, my mom's big into gossip. She's a real
Okay.
gossip, and it's fucked up too because there is this sort of air about she's just giving me information, but it's always information about people that she thinks are not doing as well in life as she is. You know what I mean?
That's great.
You know, and her son is an open mic comedian, so it's got to be pretty low. It's got to be like so and so's in jail, so and so's in rehab. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Any other good goss? Who's in rehab currently?
I don't know, dude. I have more than one former classmate that is dead from the big H.
Really?
Isn't that sad?
I mean, I don't care because it's a very abstract
Mhm.
reality to me, but sure. I mean, I'm not empathetic, but I'm not envisioning a person dying of heroin.
You know what? It's interesting you say that because it's true. I mean, you're being flippant about it for comedic purposes. You're doing one of your little bits, right? But it's true because I'm talking about an acquaintance.
Yeah.
And we're friends. So how much empathy can you have for a friend's acquaintance that you just found out about?
I don't think I couldn't have any more empathy than I would to just general empathy to the concept of someone overdosing. on
Right.
heroin. Yeah.
I mean, I had this conversation with my
I would
dad.
feel exactly the same way about Seth Putnam as you do about your friend. But I don't know what your friend's catalog of music is. So
No, it's not great. I'm from a small town, and the area code is 845, and this guy had 845 tattooed on his neck. If that gives you any idea of what type of guy he was. I'm literally speaking ill of the dead. This is probably not
sounds like a real townie.
good. Yeah. You know what? He was as white as I am, and he would folks, if you're just listening, this is a visual. He would drive down the street like this.
Yeah.
And
Cool lowrider.
he's white, I'm white, middle
Like-
class,
Yeah.
like this. For those just listening, leaned back in a car in a way that only our African American friends do, right? And then just like vibing,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't know if someone like that ever has a chance.
How was it? So he overdosed on heroin. Do you know if it was like shooting or
I really
just,
don't
like
know.
powder or something?
No, I found out it's one of those things where
That's
like,
a tough thing to get out from the family. Is the specifics?
I know.
It's like, oh, it's crazy. So like, was he like tying off or like what happened?
There is that morbid curiosity that you have sometimes, right? This is fucked up, but whenever someone kills themselves, I am so bummed that I probably will never find out specifically how.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless they're a celebrity, then it's gonna end up on the internet.
Yeah.
But if it's just like, a fifth degree relative or a friend of a friend, there's no way I get to find out how. And I want to know the most effective way for when I do it. You know?
I mean, are you not confident in the different effective ways of killing yourself?
Dude, I would be one of those guys that fucking shoots their jaw off and then just has to live an even worse life.
the guy from Seinfeld, the George's boss, that guy, that actor. There's like I think at O&A they had played a video of him like calling 911. He like tried to blow his face off with a shotgun. I think he just blew off the side of his face, but he lived.
Fuck. And if you wanted to kill yourself before, imagine living a life with no jaw.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I am a interesting looking person, right? But as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, people don't wince when they see me. But dude, Jesus Christ. I mean, this is bad. I wish I could control it. Like, you see a straight up burn victim, you're like, like for a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, ooh.
I was like, yeah, thanks for fighting for my liberty. Please let it go away. Like, yes, happy whatever day, but seriously, I can't look at you.
That's the type of thing too, where like polite society. I mean, as adults, we could keep our first impulse or like thoughts to ourselves.
Yeah.
But if you have a serious deformity or a disability, little children are saying inappropriate things to you at all times.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man.
So yeah, I'm still awkward, like around, not awkward, but like there's a part of me in my head that's just obsessed over like, oh, they have a nub instead of an arm there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna focus on that.
And your thing is like, you want to be like, don't stare at the thing, but then you're thinking like, do they know that I'm trying not to? And then you
you
realize
try too hard.
you're making more eye contact than you otherwise would be because you're
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
don't fucking. You should just get out of the way. Hey, nice to meet you. I noticed you're in a wheelchair. That sucks. And you go, it does. It really does. Then we just kiss or whatever.
Okay.
You know.
I think those are all very bold moves, and I don't think they would all work on
Yeah.
everyone. I don't think it's when you first meet someone with a disability, you should start off by pointing out how much worse their life is because of it.
Yeah.
That's not a good way.
That honestly, that might be a fucking nice thing to hear. You know what I mean? Where it's just because I think it's like that Louis bit of like we put too much pressure on disabled people to have amazing lives.
Yeah.
You know, where he's like, it actually sucks that I'm in a wheelchair. I hate it.
Yeah.
You know.
I start off every time. I was like, must be nice getting parked closer everywhere, right? Lucky son of a gun, they do like a friendly, like a shoulder thing, you know?
And then the lady's like, please don't talk to my son. He has muscular dystrophy.
It's like, okay, fine, I'll pick him up off the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the thing. If your body's shitty enough, you get a lot of sympathy. If your body's just kind of shitty, like
Well, it
you and
depends
I-
how shitty. Like if you like those 1,000-pound people where it's just you kind of let yourself go. People aren't like that sympathetic.
But if you're Sapolsky pilled and you know that there's really no
I
free
don't know
will,
what that means.
Robert Sapolsky, we talked about it.
Yeah, right?
We posted a video about how there's no free will and it's 3 minutes long. And I did rage bait a little bit because I did hashtag like normal hashtags. And then the last one is hashtag Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
And then you get all the religious people to
Yeah.
watch your video.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
Oh yeah, there was like religious comments like you haven't found God or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
You know what my favorite thing, and maybe, by the way, maybe left-wing people do this too. I don't know. But I've noticed there's a particular way that right-wing people interact in the comments when they disagree with something I say,
Yeah.
where they'll go, like we talked about Robert Sapolsky during our free will conversation. He's a guy that wrote a book called Determined, which is about free will. And the comments, a lot of them were like, imagine not believing in free will. And I'm like,
No.
you're just...
Yeah, that's not really it.
It's the type of person that goes like based,
Yeah.
and you're like, that's not an art. You're just
Yeah.
like, here's how I feel. It's like, okay, you could have just
Yeah.
worn a T-shirt or a bumper sticker,
Yeah.
you know. Or they'll be like, there was one guy or gal. I'm almost certain it's a guy, but he wrote,
Probably.
women are not arguing about free will in the comment section of YouTube. I'm
No, they
almost
can't wrap
sure
their
of it.
heads around it. It's a guy thing.
No, yeah, they get too confused, but which is not their fault. It's,
They're
nothing
like,
is
how much do I
anybody's
normally pay for Will? It's
Yeah.
like, no, you don't get it.
fault.
Women are dumb in this joke.
In this joke, yeah,
joke.
but in real life, ladies, you're beautiful.
Those different things.
Yeah.
Look, women, you're not dumb. You're hot.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And that's what matters.
Honestly, if someone was like, you're so attractive and I think you're stupid, I'd be like, this is the best day of my life.
It's like, it's fine. No pressure to be smart
yeah.
or be more attractive than I can be.
Mhm. Well, it's like you get used to whatever, because I was like, as a little kid, people are like, you're smart. But, you know, very few people are like, you are so handsome, you know, besides like my mom, my grandma or whatever. So you crave the thing that you don't have.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I remember one time my uncle, or I guess now ex-uncle, I don't know how
Is
that
he
works.
dead? Or just
He-
divorced from the family?
You don't describe people that way if they die.
Why don't you say
no,
ex-uncle?
no woman is wearing black at a funeral talking about her ex-husband.
It's like, oh, my ex just look
my
at my ex
ex-child. My ex-child was an engineering student.
I don't know.
Ex-child? Oh, he's dead now.
Ex-child. My ex-child.
He tried to kill himself. First, he took out his jaw, but the second
They are-
time, he was more like
They
he
are an
went for that
ex-child, though. They
brainstem.
are, technically.
Yeah, but I remember my a guy that used to be married to my aunt.
Yeah.
Right when I was little, like little. He was, and people have, I'm sure we're going to get some disagreements in the comments, but since I've been little, people are like, you're funny. Like that's a thing people would say to me regularly. And one time, my uncle, he was like, you're very funny. And I'm like, not even an adolescent. I'm like maybe 11 or 12.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thank you. And he's like, yeah. And that's more important than anything else when you're trying to get a girlfriend. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, so don't worry about anything else. Just and like literally as he's talking, I'm like, oh, I'm ugly as hell. Fuck.
Is this how you found out?
I think so.
It's like how you find out like you're smart and you should be in TIB, like or like an advanced program. Someone's like, you know, you're actually special.
Yeah,
You're different than the other kids.
Yeah.
It's like, Bobby, you're gonna have to learn to write premises, punchlines,
Yeah, you're gonna have
tags.
Yeah,
You're
they're
gonna
like,
have
you
to
should go
impress
to an
these
open
ladies.
mic now.
Yeah, you should start.
I am super jealous of people that go to open mics when they're like literal teenagers.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, fuck, I started when I was 25. By the time you're 25, you're going to have 10 years of experience on your belt.
Yeah.
I hate the thing of like, oh, but you have like people that start comedy like over 45.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I have life experience. And then they go up there and they're like, so I hate my ex-wife. It's like, all right. That's really profound.
That's a good premise.
Yeah.
That's a good solid premise. I hate
Yeah.
my ex-wife because I killed her. He's my ex.
Dude, I don't know. It's funny though, because that boomer comedy of like, I fucking hate my wife.
Yeah.
There is a girl version of that now. That's like millennial Zoomer girl comedy.
Oh, yeah?
It's like men.
Yeah.
It's like they're literally doing the exact opposite of like the baby boomer comedy.
Men, they rape. It's like, that's true. Yeah.
Now we're all upset. You didn't write a punchline.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of, I don't know.
It's also the girl version of like a guy whose favorite comedian is Bill Hicks and they're going to be the most insufferable person on and off stage.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't know how you watch Bill Hicks and you're like, this guy's great. That whole bit about how the Kennedy assassination was a conspiracy and it's just 5 minutes of him not understanding physics.
When he was just kind of being loose though, he had legit great bits.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy who's like easily co-opted by like for political reasons, but no, he had like he was just doing like dumb bit, like doing like just talking about doing acid like in the desert and like with the car, and then the car said the door is ajar. It's like we thought about that for hours.
That is funny.
Like dumb jokes, like or like I smoke. I'm a smoker. I go through 2 lighters a day or something. Like he had, because he started when he was like 16, 15 or something.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah, he started very young. Yeah.
Nice.
But then towards the end he was dying of cancer, and Leary basically cribbed him for that.
Dennis Leary, even before I knew like the joke stealing accusations.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just don't.
It's too contrived. The energy of the outrage is like Sam Kinnison's outrage. Like his energy matched what he was talking about. Kind of. But like Leary is like, where's the fucking coffee? You can't just regular coffee.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I get you.
Also, there was a moment I remember watching him. I think for a second he had a show on Comedy Central when I would still watch Comedy Central as an adolescent. And he did a monologue where maybe someone can find this. He was talking about how he thinks the Virgin Mary wasn't a virgin. And he was like, do I believe that Mary gave birth to Jesus? You bet your ass I did. But I also think 9 months before Joseph was pounding her. And I'm like, that's such fake. Like you're still going like, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. It just, it bothered me in a way. Cause Carlin is going religion is bullshit.
Yeah.
And that like in the fucking 1990s or whatever was actually edgy. And Dennis Leary's like, listen, of course I'm a Christian, but I have a hot take about how Jesus was born specifically. He just bothers me, dude.
Yeah.
You know what it is about him? Because Dane Cook is like a dumb frat boy, but he's like, there's no conceit to him at all.
Okay, yeah.
Like he's, if I said to his face, you're a dumb frat boy, he'd be like, guilty as charged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dennis Leary is that, but he thinks he's fucking smart and he just isn't. You play a fucking firefighter, dude. No one's like, oh, look at this guy. And when Greg Giraldo fucking schooled him on Tough Crowd.
Yeah, that was great. Well, I was gonna say the other thing that is a really fun, like there was a couple years like on Friday nights or whatever, they'd like play like clips from like random shows, and I don't know if you remember, like Greg Giraldo used to host a thing, right? And so they would play like he would intro like comics like bits or stand up or whatever, and they did like the one Dennis Leary had a bit about like how you can't find flavored coffee, like everything's flavored, you can't find flavored coffee. And then when it comes back from the interstitial, it's Greg, he's holding a cup of coffee. It's like, you know what, this is coffee, you know, we can get it everywhere. I wish more people could have seen that. It's such a small moment, but it's just so funny. It's such a funny just ripping up a premise is so, because it's so weird that false premises are like, it is a thing. Like you are allowed to make things up. Like Dave Attell makes up things. Yeah. But then there's also false premises, which is a different thing, and it's like it's bothersome. Like it's like a cheat. It's like cheating somehow. Yeah. And I don't know like on paper I don't know if it should really matter, but it does bother me.
That is literally like a boomer meme though.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't just bothered that there's more than just regular coffee. Someone going to a coffee. By the way, this is a premise I've heard from like aging open micers is not me. I'm not aging. I actually have the same hairline as I did when I was 16, which means I was a 16-year-old with a terrible hairline. But
And same build.
I know that's in 7th grade. I was the tallest kid in my class.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
What kind of fucked up, what deformed class did you go to? Really?
Yeah, but what was I saying? Oh, about Dennis Leary. A common like boomer joke is like, you go to Starbucks and you order a medium coffee and they're like, don't you mean grande?
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I say medium all the time, and
Yeah.
literally no one's arguing with me.
Yeah, and a bunch of comics had good bits like
Mhm.
about that like 20, 25 years ago.
Mhm.
But yeah, like there's a way of doing it where it's like you're selling it as a joke, and then there's like a way of doing it where like this is not a phenomenon. Andy Kindler's always good at like debunking like
Mhm.
comics who do that. It's like, what's with this thing? It's like, oh, it's because of this. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, why do people say like he's making fun of Dan Cook? He's like, why do people say cheese? It's like, oh, because when you say cheese, it makes your mouth smile.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. It's very funny to undercut someone like that. Because it
Or-
is bad comedy. If the premise you're trying to like make fun of, if you can easily dissect it or undermine it within like a couple seconds of rational thought,
Mhm.
it's probably a cheap concept.
But it works because the best comedy audience are people that are having a nice time and they're a little drunk,
yeah.
you know, which is so rarely the opportunity that I get. Every audience, not every audience, but more often than not, they're people that are skeptical about the show itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, which actually doesn't make you a better comedian. It makes you actively worse.
Comedy is it's the most contentious of the media in terms of the relationship between the performer and the crowd,
Mhm.
because we're so picky about like you need like the right space, right energy, like
Mhm.
the way people. There's so many little factors that go into it,
Mhm.
and then even still, I could do the same joke that I know kills and just not get any reaction.
Yep.
And just like, yep, that's just how it is.
And then the
So-
people watching you the second time are like, that guy's not good at comedy.
yeah.
I think also it's the only or one of the only art forms that demands your full attention at all times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like I was at a mixed open mic where people are playing music, doing poetry.
Oh, I thought you meant like black and white.
There was
people
black
together.
and white, which I
Like
talked to the
non-segregated,
manager.
yeah.
I didn't think that it was appropriate.
Oh, okay.
Dude, you know what's funny at an open mic though? If there are this has happened to me multiple times where literally half the audience is white and half the audience is black,
Yeah.
right? And this is in New York City where everyone that's in the audience is also participating in the open mic, right?
Yeah.
It's even if it's half white, half black, more often than not, a black comic will go up there and be like, all these white people.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's just a thing you say every time. man.
Yeah.
It's literally 50-50, and you're like, I am a cards are stacked against me, fellas.
Yeah. If there's one black person in the room, I'll say it's a black room.
Mhm.
That's just,
Yeah.
that's how I act. Instantly change the room. Like that person's the leader of the room.
Mhm. I must have bitched about this before, but I was at a open mic where there were 4 women in a row, and the 4th woman was like, finally some women.
Yeah, that's
I'm like, you're the 4th one.
So-
And we were all like listening politely.
oh yeah.
It's crazy.
Did she not watch the show, or she wasn't? Being
I think
ironic?
that's I think that's just how,
They're just so programmed to like.
That's
have
her
line.
opener.
Yeah.
dude. There was this awful comedian that has since quit, and he was a lawyer. He was a lawyer that I'm not talking about you.
Well, I didn't quit.
You didn't quit.
Do I know?
I'm almost positive you do. I'll if you're not gonna pick it up from context,
Okay.
I'll tell you off mic. But he has since quit, and I watched him do this bit multiple times
Yeah.
at bar shows, right? A bar show, by the way, if like you're unacquainted, it's something like a comedy show. I say bar show because it takes place in a bar, and there could be anywhere from 6 to like, if you're lucky, 24 audience members.
Yeah.
And sometimes they didn't even know a show was happening. They just went to like
Quite often, I would say, majority of the time, they're not aware that a show is happening.
terrible.
And
It's
absolutely no accommodation is made for the fact that a show is being attempted. in terms of ambient noise. So the game will still be on.
Dude, the worst is like, even if it's in the other room, like if a show is in the back of a bar, but you could hear people.
There is nothing louder than an adjacent bar next to you when you're doing a bar show.
Dude,
It's
terrible.
the loudest thing you've ever heard.
But so that's the context in which I'd see this guy perform. But I would see it like even when it was a good show and it was like 24 people and they're laughing and you know they know it's not fucking Jerry Seinfeld and Dave Chappelle, but they're like still having a nice time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he would go up there and he would do his dog shit bits and then he would go, I don't even know why I do this because like I'm a lawyer, I don't have to do this. And I was talking to my buddy and he was like, that was crazy. That guy had that meltdown. And I was like, it's worse than that. That is a prepared bit that he does.
Oh yeah.
And my buddy was like, no. That was I'm confident that was a meltdown. I'm like, no, that's because he did that at an open mic and it worked.
Yeah.
But because that you had that actual energy of like being upset but like, first of all, even at a bad show, the audience member doesn't read comedy or being a comedian as bad.
Yeah.
They think it's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't do comedy, you think doing comedy is cool. So they're like,
I don't know. I'd like to think that's true. I don't know if that's true. I don't think people.
I think if you're very online, and you know about open mic culture, or if you used to do comedy, which is a lot of people now, right? That was the thing that Nick Mullen talked about years ago. He's like, there's no comedy fans anymore. Everyone just does open mics. But I think your average person, dude, I'm one of the few at our level of comedy that doesn't keep it a secret. If people ask me what I do, I go like, well, I'm a telemarketer during the day, but I'm working on being like a full-time stand-up comedian. And the reaction is always like, oh, that's interesting. And not even in a like, I want to suck your dick and balls. It's just like,
is that the only other kind of interesting?
That's the only other kind.
So you saw someone's like, oh, son, that's interesting. Oh, you're gonna suck my dick,
dude. My
That's
buddy
great.
Ben does that all the time because I tour with him. I open for him. He's successful. He like sells out theaters now. And if we just run into like a server or like someone helping us check in, like everyone ends up thinking that he and I are a gay couple together, which he also doesn't appreciate, right? But like they'll be like, "What do you do?" And he's like, "Oh, you know, just traveling." But we'll be in like Cleveland. Like no one's traveling to Cleveland unless it's for work. And if I had my druthers, I'd be like, "I do comedy. It's fun." You know what I mean?
Yeah, you always hear comics talk about it. It's like, oh, when they're on a plane, it's like, and someone asks them what they do, and it's like, oh, it's the worst. You get dragged into conversations. Like, I like telling people,
dude, because they're like. Even if it's the like cringiest thing either, if they're like, oh, I love comedy and my favorite comedian is Sebastian Maniscalco, I'll be like, oh, that's great. Like, I think I wouldn't sit and watch one of his specials, but like, I'm interested in a person who would like that comic.
Oh no, I'm just dismissive of everybody.
Oh, okay.
Or like, you have shit taste. I just want you to know that you're the reason. You're part of the reason
like
comedy sucks.
If like a middle-aged Hispanic person is like, oh, you're a comedian, like Gabriel Iglesias. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Yeah. Oh, the fluffy bit, amazing. You know, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just have a nice time chit-chatting with people. It doesn't have to be this weird thing, because otherwise, like. I've had jobs where I kept being a comedian a secret just because I didn't want them to like find my material online and like, you know, be offended by something or whatever. Or think I didn't take the job serious.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But like that was a weird experience for me because people would be like, what are you doing this weekend? And I'd be like, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It makes me sound like a loser, which I am, but I don't want them to know that for wrong reasons.
Yeah, no, it's weird. No, I get that, but I like saying I'm the only hesitancy I have is because I'm not full time, like I'm not making a living at it, so I feel weird for that reason.
But almost nobody is. You know what I mean?
But like it's possible to do it. It's just different now to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said like my day job is whatever my day job currently is, and then I say, and I'm pursuing stand up comedy.
Okay,
you know, because I've made comedy. I've made comedy. That's true too. I've made money doing comedy. A lot? No, but
I've made money. Have I lost more money? Yes, by a significant amount.
Dude, but honestly, all of the ways that you spend money to do comedy, it's a tax write-off, baby. Sounds illegal. Probably is. I do it anyway.
Good for you.
IRS, if you're listening, what's up? Like and subscribe. Please smash that like button. Isn't that cool?
What do you,
smash that like button.
I really don't. I don't like when you do that.
I'm trying. Why don't you go ahead and smash that like button?
Yeah, you like it? Smash it.
Yeah.
Smash that button.
Have you not heard smash the like button before?
Yes, I've heard that expression.
Oh, you just didn't like it coming out of my mouth.
I don't like you leaning in and being flirty with it. Is what I don't.
I'm
like.
trying to lean towards like being sexy. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
I'm not going to keep not being sexy. I'm not going to keep that.
Look, I'm a sexual animal. I'm not gonna keep it caged.
Dude, it's so funny. Like in the most depressing way possible, that comedy was like the one place where it didn't matter what your face looked like. And then Matt Rife was like, actually, now it does. And we're like, oh, Jesus Christ, man. You have to be a very attractive man or like a morbidly obese woman. I don't even understand how.
Wouldn't it be easier for you to
happened.
just do? Which one of those would be easier for you to transition into?
Oh, dude, that's true. Probably the latter.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have to cut my dick off anymore. You know what I mean? I would just have to like,
Yeah.
and honestly, I think to get the most clout online would me be putting the least amount of effort into my transition. Like not even getting rid of the 5 o'clock shadow, just poorly putting makeup on.
Yeah.
Getting like, you know, even working out my shoulders even more, even though I have shit shoulders, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy. Can you imagine? I've been trying to work out my shoulders.
What have you been doing?
Just shoulder rate, like whatever this is. If you guys are just
Shoulder
listening
press
to,
kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, overhead press, and then I do whatever
Lat,
these are,
Okay.
the flies,
Yeah.
and oh fuck, is that it? Oh, and farmer walks, but those are stressful in a
What's
crowded
a
gym.
farm? I think I've heard that. I'm not sure.
Farmer walks is when you take 2 dumbbells and you just walk along the gym.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and it works your forearms and your shoulders.
Yeah.
But the stressful thing about doing farmer walks in a crowded gym is that a gym is no different than any other public place where people are walking around not quite looking at where they're going.
Yeah.
So, which is weird too, because we've groused about this before. Like we're big into walking on the right side of the road,
Yeah.
and almost no one got the memo.
Yeah, it's rough, and especially with now, like it's getting warmer and tourists everywhere. It's
Crazy.
it's just brutal.
I saw this happen. There was a guy walking in front of me, and we were doing that long hallway walk on 6th and 14th from the L station to the 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
which is like, it's almost better to walk outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're walking on this long underground corridor. It's hot. And there was a guy, and I was walking right behind him.
Yeah.
It's like rush hour foot traffic.
Yeah.
It must have been late afternoon. And I'm behind him, right? And I always pick someone to walk right behind.
Yeah.
Because then they, by nature of that, like
They're clearing the path.
they're clearing. And there was a woman, full volume TikToks, just walking, so afraid of being alone with her own thoughts that she had like TikTok at full value. I mean, she's like 22, and this guy's like trying not to bump into her, but it's like him and the wall.
Okay, yeah.
There's no more wall.
Yes.
And so even he tried to do the thing where he like bends his shoulder
to
in,
go through,
and they still bump into each other a little bit. And she goes, oh, okay. And dude, the rage. I mean, I'm laughing because anything bad that happens that doesn't happen to me is funny to me.
Yeah.
But he was like, he looked, you know, that thing where people will like look and decide if they should do something. And I'm like, you're a giant man and she's literally a 22-year-old woman. Like, it's not going to end well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so he looked back multiple times, and eventually, and this is sort of, I probably shouldn't have done this, but the 3rd time he looked back, I did the calm down phrase with my, which is, I mean, I did it without thinking. There is a world in which like a guy that looks like me does that, and it just infuriates you even more. You know what I mean? But he like shrugged his shoulders, like, yeah, what are you gonna do? But this woman walked around being like, I can't believe that guy man spread into me, even though his right shoulder was literally against the wall.
Yeah.
There needs to be pedestrian classes. You know how you have to take a class to get your driver's license?
I think about like high society, low society. That's what I think.
There should be different trains. Different buses for people that. How's that for a dog whistle? For people that can walk and not walk. Although there's not a racial disparity, I do think there's a generational disparity. I think the older you are, the better you walk.
Yeah.
The younger you are, the more addicted you are to your smartphone.
Yeah.
And you're like, like if you shit while like looking at TikToks, you probably also walk while looking at them. You know what I mean?
That's true. Why not? It's better than like having your own thoughts. That's dumb.
Dude, the thing is, it's funny to me because I am a guy that
You keep telling yourself that.
I'm technically a man. Yeah. If you saw a silhouette of me, it'd be a different story. But like if you heard my voice and saw like my 5 o'clock shadow.
If you're naked silhouette, it's like there's clearly penis and testicles, but look at those shoulders.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of woman?
And I just cannot get, dude, I'm fucking stuck with these shoulders.
Your shoulders look fine, by the way.
No, I don't think so.
I think you're fishing for a compliment. Your shoulders are fine.
No, I'm not. If I was fishing for a compliment, I'd say how bad my biceps are. But my shoulders are objectively bad. Ilya, I've been working out for years, and I cannot I do 3 sets of 12. I cannot get over 30 pounds.
Yes. I took a picture of a guy with crazy calves this morning on the train.
Yeah? All right. Kind of creepy,
Like,
but
just
I'm interested.
I thought I would do a funny post.
That
but
is
never
a
got
thing
around
that
to it.
only men think about, I think.
But,
the calves. Let me okay. Oh, you know what? This guy put in the work. It's one of those rare, for those just listening, Ilya I'm not going to show, that's fucked up to show to the camera, even though they probably couldn't even see it. Ilya took a creep shot in the subway, but it's of a man, so it's okay.
So it's cool.
This guy, is he jacked? I can only see from the waist below.
He was reasonably. He was doing. I don't know what he's doing. Like he was wearing slippers and like he was like doing like calf stretches against the bar.
Oh,
so
dude.
it's as if he was on his way to somewhere.
This guy is happy that you took it. If you could go, if this guy was like listening to the podcast, he'd be like, "I'm so happy that someone recognizing my calves, dude." I do calf raises, and my calves look better than they otherwise would, but I got tiny calves, man.
But I mean, the calves. I may still have decent calves. Like, but it's like no one. It's not too impressive, and at a certain point, they just become disproportionate. His calves look like Popeye arms. Like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I do think it's one of those things that you know how they say like there's some jobs that you don't appreciate them unless they fuck up. You know, like no one appreciates the IT guy until there's a problem.
Yeah,
you know, when there's not a problem, no one's like, thank goodness for the IT guy keeping everything up on the up and up. It's a similar thing with certain body parts, like for men, calves.
Yeah.
Like, I think women don't think calves are important until they see a guy with the tiniest calves they've ever seen. And then they're like, there's something about him I find unattractive. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you can't have like puny, like little giraffe legs. But like, I don't think women are attracted to. I mean, it looks like a tumor. Like,
no, that's what you could go too far in the other direction.
Yeah.
But this guy, I don't know. Would you say he takes the special sauce?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. Maybe he just, you know what the thing too is, I'm a former big boy and I have like, you know, thick thighs saves lives situation. And it's because I spent like 15 to 18 and then 23 to 25 being very fat.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Are you disturbed because I described thick thighs saves lives to myself?
That was fine. I was still hung up on special sauce, if I'm honest.
You really?
I don't care for that. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You have a tendency to just give nicknames to things that don't need nicknames.
It's fun.
And I don't care for it. I know it's like, oh, it's whimsical, but I don't care for it. And now that I'm an equal partner on the show, I feel like maybe we could cut some of that whimsy. You okay?
I don't know why that touched me in such a way. I don't know, just the way, because you did mean it in all earnestness.
Oh, 100%. I don't care for your whimsy. I enjoy you, but your whimsy can go fuck off.
Oh, man. I don't know. You never take the opportunity to be whimsical?
I do, to annoy my wife.
Yeah.
It's good times.
How do you annoy your wife?
I probably just like feel like making like dumb jokes or like annoying. I don't know, just something silly.
Okay.
Like a really silly, dumb pun kind of thing. Like at home, that's fun.
Yeah. Sometimes when my girlfriend leaves the room, when she comes back, I've put on a song called I Glued My Balls to My Butthole Again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And it's a song by Obscurest Vinyl. Shout out to Obscurest Vinyl if you're listening, although I don't think you're just one person. But they have like these weird like I Glued My Balls to My Butthole Again is the title of the song, and it's like a 1950s doo-wop about how like him and his lady are gonna get through tough times even though he keeps gluing his balls to his butthole.
That's fun.
And it's she's whimsical, like her and I, she and I, we have, how do you say it? We have like we're both silly in the same way.
Yeah.
But I think that's a little too much boy humor that she's like, ugh, gross.
Yeah.
And there's something about like when she hears the song as she's walking back in the room, and she's like dreading walking into the room. Like the first thing I see the door opening her is her disappointed face. It makes me giggle.
That's fun.
Yeah.
She comes in crying. It's like, I was fired today. It's like, okay. So, then you put on a different song.
Now, is there anything that your wife does to annoy you?
I mean, I'm sure there's actual relationship things, I'm sure, but
but yeah,
not like dumb little quirky, like as like an intentional thing.
yeah.
I don't think nothing intentional.
Mhm.
I mean, sometimes like she'll do this thing now where she'll be like, if she just doesn't want to get out of her bed, she'll be like, I'm pregnant, and I get her water.
For
But that's also
context, she is pregnant. Yeah,
so it's not like illegitimate.
she didn't do that on your second date.
No. Yeah. But
That
she'll
would
be
be fun.
like, can you get me? But like,
Mhm.
just dumb stuff. No, nothing really. Like, if she's annoying me or trying to annoy me, it's for something more serious or legitimate.
Oh, I see.
But
Yeah,
she doesn't have like a fun little nuisance.
to annoy your partner as a bit is, I think, a boy thing to do.
Yeah,
That is big boy energy.
It is very boy energy.
Yeah,
I'm a big boy.
I'm a big boy too. I'm a big kid now.
Remember that?
I do.
They went out of business.
Only really? What is
Did
that?
they? Toys R Us?
That's where I'm.
Isn't that?
No,
No,
that's
Toys R Us. No, that's it's like a diaper.
Fisher Price.
Is it Fisher Price?
It is Fisher Price. I'm a
Okay.
big kid now. Yeah. Or I think it might be a diaper.
I think it's
Connor,
a diaper thing.
can you help us?
It's a diaper. I think it's a
Can
diaper
you
thing.
Google "I'm a big kid now,"
'Cause
which I'm sure
why
is
would
not
it be-
going to mess up
why
your
would it be
search history
Why
at
would
all?
it be Fisher Price? I'm a big kid now.
Well, because obviously they're not a big kid, but big kid is relevant. Like
It's relevant to diaper size.
it's relative, is what I was going to say. That it's like, because if you're 3 and you're like, I'm walking, that's like, you think you're a big kid. I think.
You think they're marketing that commercial specifically to children to go on their own to stores and make these
Well,
purchases?
no, but you do market to children so that the children then
Yeah.
talk to their
Totally.
parents.
Do you all want to lock in your guesses? I have the answer.
Okay,
Hold
so
on.
I think it's pull up diapers.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
I don't know the brand specifically, but I'm almost certain it's
The problem is
pull-up
I couldn't.
diapers.
I think it's diapers, but I wouldn't go with the brand.
Okay.
Let's go with Huggies just to make it different.
It is Huggies.
Woo. Okay, but I kind of led the horse to water to drink on that one. I said pull up diapers, and then you thought of
You led the horse to water to drink. What do you think the expression means? What part of that expression did you think applied to what just happened? That's not what lead the horse to water means. You just meant like you loosened the top for me. It's like that's the analogy you meant.
I led the horse to water and forced him to drink.
Also, famously, you can't get him to drink.
Yeah, but this
That's the
time I
crucial
did.
part. Okay.
This time I did is the point.
Okay.
I held your little mane and I said, "You're a little
I'm the
water."
horse.
I said, "You're a little water slut, aren't you?" And I made you drink water, even though you were neighing the whole time.
Yeah, you're a little water slut, aren't you? That's one of many reasons. That's why I got fired from that petting zoo.
Dude, calling someone a water slut is so funny because everyone
fun.
needs water to be alive.
I mean, listen, hang out by like a water fountain, and then when they're mid mouthful, so they can't respond. It's like, yeah, you gulp that, you little water.
Do you think that's what they said in Gitmo when they were waterboarding people? That you're a little water slut, aren't you?
Probably.
Did you ever hear that news report that they would blast the real Slim Shady at Gitmo to torture the prisoners? Which, how is that torture? That's one of the greatest songs of all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't remember that song, but yeah, I know like but playing music in general. Yeah.
Imagine studying the Quran and coming to the conclusion that you have to kill all the infidels, and then you end up at Gitmo, and then a guard is explaining the Will Smith Eminem beef to you, so you can understand the second verse of the real Slim Shady.
You think that was a thing? You think they heard the real Slim Shady enough times? Eventually, like I have some questions about the lyrical content,
And they don't even have access to Rap Genius there, so they have to.
Yeah.
The guards have to explain it to them.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Will Smith don't got a cuss in his raps to sell records. Well, I do. So fuck him and fuck you too. So cool, man.
Yes.
So cool, because I was 11, and Will Smith, Wild Wild West. I thought he was so cool. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He's telling everybody at that uptight household what's what. But then he goes up to the VMAs and he's like, I don't kill people in my rap songs. I don't say naughty words. And then Eminem, a guy who at 26 was a line cook, ends up becoming a famous rapper, and he's like, fuck you, Will Smith, you fucking cornball. And everyone's like, this guy's actually way cooler than Will Smith. That means so much to me.
Where was Eminem a line cook?
Oh, I actually went to that restaurant. It's called Gilbert's Lodge.
Okay.
Yeah. Technically it's outside of Detroit. I forget. It's something Shore or Shores. But I went to Gilbert's Lodge where Eminem used to work as a line cook, and they don't talk about it at all.
No. They
No.
rap about it.
Yeah, they rap about it. No, Ben and I, because I was opening for Ben when we were in Detroit, and I very hilariously made him come to Gilbert's Lodge with me. Ben graduated from Columbia University, by the way, and he's sitting at Gilbert's Lodge, and I'm explaining that Eminem used to be a line cook there. And then there was a waitress, and she was like our age. So obviously she didn't work with Marshall, but I was like, did Marshall used to work here? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, wait a second. And then Lynn came over, and Lynn's in her mid-50s, and she's like, I used to work with Marshall. And then she had these stories about him.
You know, Ho Chi Minh used to be a chef at the Omni Parker Hotel in Boston.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
that's just a thing I know.
That's wild. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
a
weird.
lot of those guys had Western education.
Yeah,
didn't
it's
they?
a little wild when you think about those. Some of those people are like, oh, I guess they're just from here. William Churchill's mom is American.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
As was well, I don't know which parent, but Boris Johnson had
Yeah,
dual
his-
citizenship.
Well, I think he was like born in New Jersey, technically, or something. or
And
like
then he
something.
renounced his U.S. citizenship so he could run for prime minister.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
for him.
I would never renounce my U.S. citizenship unless it was expedient to do so.
I mean, I guess we you had to get done quickly for some reason.
Dude, I would be so mad if like we get invaded and I have to learn Mandarin. Like, I think Maxim would help me, but I would still like struggle with it. You know what I mean?
You think it's definitely? Is it the Mandarin speak? What if it was the Cantonese speakers? What if they took over?
My understanding is that they're not the
They're not.
they're
the
not
ones
the
in
ones
charge?
that run shit. I mean, I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments if we're wrong, and I'll pin it. I swear to God, I will. But I keep my promises unless I forget. But yeah, I think because that's Americans always do that. They're like, oh, the French. If it wasn't for us, they'd be speaking German. Like Americans think the worst part of being invaded is that you have to learn another language.
That's why it's like just more education.
Yeah. But the people make fun of Americans for not speaking another language, which is really just like,
It's a testament to how successful we are. It's like we don't need to speak other languages because everyone speaks our
yeah,
language.
it's like, it would be
That's-
like if someone made fun of me for not knowing how to use a wheelchair. I don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I go to Sweden and
Mm-hmm.
they speak English there, in my head that means I speak Swedish
Yeah.
because I can travel there and communicate with the people. As far as I know, I speak all the languages.
You know what's kind of interesting is, because English is the lingua franca of
Yep.
the world, right? It's very ironic because lingua franca used
It's
to
not.
mean,
Yep.
French. That's why French people are so salty because there was like a moment where speaking French was really important.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the U.S. was like, actually, how about with the British Empire helped, but then like Hiroshima and Nagasaki made everyone think like, oh, we gotta learn English now. I mean, that's kind of a crude way of putting it, but it's kind of, you know what I mean?
There are people being melted alive by the radiation. Be like, I'm gonna have to learn some English.
Yeah. But like I've traveled a bit, and you run into people that don't speak English, and first of all, it's just a microcosm of how non-English speakers have to deal with traveling.
Yeah.
You know, because like if I'm talking to a waiter that doesn't speak English, there's another waiter in this restaurant that does.
Yeah.
So all it takes is like a few seconds of
But also, none of our TSA or airport staff make any effort to speak.
they just
another
talk louder.
Just talk louder. in
Yeah.
English. You go to other countries. It doesn't matter what country. Someone will be like, it's everything's still in English. And then you come to America, and they're like, what don't you understand about take off your belt?
Yeah.
So they don't know the word belt.
Yeah.
What do you
fine.
think?
Dude, but there's some like Italy. When I was in Rome, dude, literally, I mean, other than people that worked in tourism, but
Yeah.
like your average person, like you couldn't get directions from someone on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
street, no matter how young they were. They just didn't know English. But their vibe was like, I'm sorry, bro. But when I was in Paris, they were like, I don't speak English, and also fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I will say French is the only language where when I'm walking around in New York City, someone will talk in that, and not even like pantomiming, like they're speaking French, but they understand that I don't speak French.
Yeah.
Like it's the only nationality of people that will come up to me and like blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
blah.
in
I'm like,
French?
dude, why would I know? And they're like blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, still no.
Well,
That's
it's
crazy.
because you are always dressed like a French mime.
I know.
on the
Yeah, but
street.
I just like the way it feels.
Feels good.
You know, I don't know, but you are right about, you know, we just, it's the hardest. I imagine if you move to another country and you don't speak that language, like I lived in Prague, but as an expat, like as an English speaking expat, that is not the same thing
Yeah.
as like being an immigrant and you're like, fuck, these people even the nice one. Like I'm nice to people that don't speak English,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to say any of their words in their language.
Yeah.
And I also will make no attempt to ever.
Yeah, it's it's too much effort. There's a lot,
Yeah.
lot of languages.
Mhm.
We should
I
just,
always have this thing though, if like, because sometimes Spanish speaking people, I live in a Spanish neighborhood, they'll like talk to me in broken English, and I never speak back in Spanish, and I think I could. I've noticed there's some circumstances where I'm like, I think I know more Spanish than this person knows English,
yeah,
but I can't. It's like it would be so embarrassing.
yeah.
I don't know why I feel that way. I
Well-
think because white guys get sort of made fun of for like sounding like a gringo.
Yeah,
Like that gracias meme,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, exactly.
looking-
Yeah,
Like, I just don't want to sound like that.
yeah. It's like, well, fine. I'll just keep a cold distance,
Yeah.
language barrier between us.
Yeah.
I'm fine. That's
Yeah.
why I just don't interact with anyone I don't think speaks English.
Yeah.
I just give them a hard, like, a once over and be like,
Mhm.
I don't think they speak English.
Yeah.
I don't deal with them.
Mm-hmm. You do a quick one of these, and then that's
Yeah.
the end of the interaction.
Yes. International sign that I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
No talk.
Yeah. The funny thing, because people, and it's usually foreigners, they'll ask you, they won't go like, how do I get to 58th and 9th?
And I'm always like, practice, practice, practice.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't get it. It's like, no, it's a joke about Radio City.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Oh, Carnegie Hall, not Radio City.
That's even better. How do you get to Radio City? Practice. Well, not as much as you would have to
Go to
get to Carnegie Hall, but like still a certain
Still
amount of
practice.
practice.
Yeah.
The joke's not as good. But
It's like,
this will happen to me regularly where someone will be like, how do I get to 7, 8, 9, 20th Street? And I'm like, why would I know that off the top of my head? And then they just angrily show me the address on their phone.
yeah. It's fine.
If they're mad about it, I walk away. I'm like, dude, it's not my problem you're late.
Yeah.
Like I would have helped you, but you're mad at me? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like the longer I live in the city, the less patience I have with.
Oh, yeah. I
Everyone
definitely
being
feel
around
like
me.
it eats away at you. It's just
Mhm.
like, things gotta be instant. It's annoying. It's a very frustrating place to be,
Mhm.
New York.
Yeah, I was on actually I was on New Jersey Transit from my parents' house back to New York, and I got onto the car all the way in the back,
Yeah.
which I was like, maybe people would be less likely to walk onto that one. There was one guy, he walked in and he's listening to TikToks at full volume,
Oh, yeah.
and then I was like, there's just one in every car now.
Yeah.
And then another guy walked in, and then he also did that.
Yeah.
And then a third woman walked in, and she also did that.
Yeah.
And I was like, there are 4 of us on this train car.
Yeah.
3/4 of us are listening to TikToks at full volume
Yeah.
on our phones without headphones. Isn't that crazy?
That is
It's just like a new part of life that we have to get used to.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, you need to develop etiquette for it, but like, I don't know who's enforcing it or like instilling it. When I eat, like, I put like the fork and knife together
Mhm.
on a plate, like just whatever I remember. I don't even remember being taught. It's just like a
Right.
thing I've always done because at some point my parents showed me. It's like, oh, this is what you do. This is how to, with etiquette or something. And like, is no one like telling kids like, by the way, when you're walking on the street, make sure you're looking around.
Yeah.
Make sure you have some listening device and not playing things. Like, it just add that to the curriculum.
Yeah.
Like that.
But I think like it's funny because we started this podcast talking about George Floyd, and which that was your decision, Ilya. But do you know the Ferguson effect?
Yeah.
So the idea, I'm saying this for the listeners' benefit, is cops were like less likely to police, like they wouldn't actively go looking for crimes
Yeah.
or like enforce the low level crimes because they were just afraid of like something bad happening.
Yeah.
Right. And as an effect of that, like crime gets worse. And like petty crime gets worse, and then worse crime gets worse. It's basically the opposite of the broken windows theory.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think a version of that is happening on New York City subways.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on the train, and there 2 cops walk onto the train, and there's a guy listening to TikToks at full volume on his phone without headphones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it's like a low level, crime almost seems like too strong of a
Yeah,
word,
like
but you're not supposed to be doing
Like a
it.
city ordinance or something like that.
But like, you know how people like put alcohol in a plastic
Yeah, yeah.
bag or a paper bag.
Yeah.
And so like everybody knows you're drinking alcohol, but there's plausible deniability. But if you had the Budweiser label,
Yeah.
the cop would have to be like, hey man,
Yeah.
I have to give you a ticket for that. I figure like a similar thing for noise pollution,
Yeah.
but these cops walk on, like, look at that guy, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
And it sucks to say, but I think like that's what keeps most people behaving in society is if they get in trouble, if they don't,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I think you need the courage to stand up, but we're all cowards.
We're all cowards. And guys, that's the point of this episode. Always do what's right.
Always do what's right.
Be a good citizen. And part of a good citizen, Ilya, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, is liking, subscribing, leaving a comment below. Guys, if you came up with the very funny, very relevant, first time ever said observation that I look like Mark Zuckerberg, if you could write it in the comments, that would be great. If you're confused about free will, if you don't know what determinism is and how that's different from incompatibilism, even though that was part of a different video, if you could comment that in the comment below, that'd be great. And if you walk on the left side of the sidewalk, let me know. Ilya and I will bully you in the comments. And until next time, folks, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. I'm just plain Night Owls. You know I love you.
Thank you.